Hello everyone! This video is a simple tutorial on how to start editing your own podcast that you supposedly have already pre-recorded with some kind of Skype recording software. In this case it was Amolto Skype Recorder. I'm making this video for my friend Nick Peters, who runs Deeper Waters podcast, which is a really cool podcast on Christian apologetics. So please go and check it out. We're going to be using two pieces of software. The first one is Audacity, right here. The second one is Reaper. So if you haven't already, go to Audacity website and install the latest version. Make sure you have the latest version because in this case, they changed a little bit of these layouts, these menus, and you see the buttons are now square instead of circular. Also, in the second video, we'll be discussing how to edit in Reaper. So go and download Reaper. It's free for the first 60 days. And after 60 days, it's going to be giving you a sort of a bugging message to buy a license, which is only $60 if you're not using it commercially for like making music and selling your own music. And $60 for such a beast of a software as Reaper is really nothing. It's a steal. So, this particular file was recorded in Amolto Skype Recorder. In order to import it, you go to Import, Audio, you navigate wherever the file is. In this case, it's an interview with Rosaria Butterfield. You click it and you click Open, and it's gonna import the file. In Nick's particular setup, for some reason, it recorded the caller's voice on both channels.
Conversation.
And Nick's voice only on left channel.
Him or me or my wife Allie and say I made a donation.
See? So we have to fix that somehow. Because we need to get Nick's voice separated from Rosaria's voice. I used to kind of cut Nick's voice out like that, just cut it out and then leave the other voice and then make another cut and maybe boost because it's quieter. I would raise the volume of Nick's voice and I make all these cuts, which would be just crazy because how do I know if Nick didn't say something over here where the guest speaks and I just don't see it? Maybe they've said something simultaneously and I don't see it. So somehow we need to separate these two voices from each other. And how can we do it? With a really nice technique called phase reversal. Now, what is phase reversal? Let me show you. If you know some fundamentals of physics, waves, look at the waves on water. So here you have a wave, a peak from one splash in this case, and here is a peak from another splash. Where the peaks intersect, right here, they become higher, they increase. Where the peak intersects with the dip cancels out the peak. So it becomes at a sort of zero level, sea level. And where the dip intersects with another deep, it becomes a deeper dip. Same in audio. Let's zoom. See those peaks? And here too? It means that the sound is just gonna be louder. So if we invert somehow this signal so that this peak doesn't go up but goes down, it's gonna cancel out the sound from this track. And what we are gonna be left with is just Nick's voice. So let's do that. Let's split the stereo to mono. It gave us two tracks now.
You can support
now they're both in center, not on the left. We're gonna click this one, go to Effects, invert. Where is invert? There. Invert. Boom. We've just inverted the phase of this selected track. Let's zoom and see. See? This one goes up. This one goes down at a 180-degree inversion. So, ideally, if we play these both together, they're gonna cancel each other out, and we won't hear Rosaria's voice at all. We hear a little bit of Rosaria's voice because Nick's microphone picked up the sound bleed from his headphones. So I guess his headphones were a little bit loud, so his mic picked up the sound. So you can hear a little bit of that, but her direct voice canceled out completely. Now, if you mute it, boom.
We don't
you can
agree
hear
about
her voice
sexual
because this one is muted. It's not
we don't
canceling
understand
out.
each other when we talk about the
this
means
track.
of grace because we don't share the same.
You don't hear it.
You want to donate and click on.
Now you hear Nick's voice. So what we should do now is select both of these by holding. Let's just select this track, hold Shift, and this. You selected both by holding Shift. You go to Tracks, Mix and Render to New Track. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna mix these two tracks together, and they will cancel Rosaria's voice out completely, and we're gonna be left only with Nick's voice. So mix and render to new track. Boom. Now what we have is a track with nothing but Nick's voice that doesn't have Rosaria's voice on it. So we can just go ahead and delete this one with both voices. We don't need it anymore. So now what we have is two tracks. One Nick's voice, another Rosaria's voice. We can just rename it. Nick. Rosaria. Now what we're gonna do is to use a free noise reduction effect that is included in Audacity, because Reaper doesn't have one. So we're gonna take advantage of a free one in Audacity. Because we could do this phase inversion in Reaper. We wouldn't need Audacity. But what we are gonna do is use that denoiser. In order to do that, we need to select a region with nothing but noise. Let's listen. Yep. There is nothing. There was something in here that we don't need. So, no lip smacks, no like somebody's scratching their chin, like nothing like that. Just pure noise with nothing else. Let's listen again. Yep, that was just pure noise. Now get noise reduction from effects. What you need to do is get noise profile. This plugin is gonna read the noise from the selected area and remember it. Get noise profile. Now, after you've gotten the noise profile, you need to select the whole track. Let's zoom out a little. We selected the whole track. You go to effects again, noise reduction. Now, you've already given it the noise. It has already read it. So now what you need to do is, well, let's look at the settings. 12 dB reduction is a pretty good setting. Do not go above it, like don't go 20 or something. It will start sounding weird. 12 is good. Less, like 6, is even better. if you have too much of noise, like do one pass at 12, then do the get noise profile again, like select the area with noise, read the noise profile again, and do the reduction again, like 2 times, 2 passes. But don't go above 12. You can leave these ones, sensitivity and frequency smoothing at the default. Now push OK. Applying noise reduction. Now it gets noise out of Rosaria's track. And we're gonna do the same with Nick's voice. By the way, as a tip, when you start recording a podcast, leave 3-5 seconds of just silence. Just don't speak, don't scratch yourself, don't do anything, just pure room noise. So you would have a place where to go and read the noise profile from. Okay, we've denoised Rosaria. Now let's go and find a place where we can get some noise profile from. We need a sort of a completely empty area. Maybe here. Yeah, let's do this one. It's a bit short. I mean, it's preferably to get a longer piece of audio to read the noise profile from, but let's do this one. Noise reduction. You need to get the noise profile again, because Nick's room had a different noise than Rosaria's room had. Get noise profile. Let's zoom out. Select the whole track. Go to effects again. Noise reduction. You've already gotten the noise profile. You can leave it at 12 or less. Process. Boom. Now we've denoised both tracks. What we're gonna do now is to render both of these tracks out. We'll just select this, hold shift, select both, go to File, Export, Export Multiple. Now it asks you for the folder. Yeah, just choose a folder where you want to export to. In this case, I'll export to the same folder where I got the file from. This one. The format. Choose WAV 16-bit. Do not choose MP3, because MP3 is a compressed file format. It's gonna reduce the quality a little bit. Like if you compress a picture and it becomes a little pixelated if you zoom on it, because it reduces the quality to make the file smaller and lighter. Don't do that. Choose WAV 16-bit. You don't really need 32-bit because it will make the file unnecessarily large. 16-bit is totally fine. It's a CD quality. When you listen to music on CDs, it's in WAV 16-bit. Export. So the first file is going to be named, check the name, Rosaria here. The second, Nick. Awesome. One. 2. Now go and check. There you go. You have 2 files exported. I recommend that you name it the name which will reflect what you did. You denoised it, so just denoised. So you wouldn't forget, because you will forget. what you did. Like, did I denoise it, or did I forget to denoise? You know, maybe a week later, if you need to pull out these files again, and you'll forget. So just mark them denoised, and you'll remember, yeah, I denoised them. So you don't need this one anymore. You can just close it. If you want to save it, you can. It'll take space on your disk, but since you've already exported these two files, you don't really need this project anymore, so you don't need to save it. And now you have two separate files to work with, which means if Nick's voice was too quiet, you would be able to separately increase the volume of his voice and decrease the volume of Rosaria's voice. If she was too loud or something, you have both voices on separate tracks, which is awesome. So that's it. That's it for the first video. I'll see you in the second video.